Crochet Shrug, an easy crochet shrug made with a beautiful yarn of Stylecraft, and it is, I think it's Stylecraft Special Chunky. It's long enough to cover our bottoms, but I can give you the measurements so you can easily adjust it and make it longer or wider. The stitch pattern is very easy. It's a V-stitch pattern, which I believe looks nice. It's an easy pattern to do, even for beginners, and the shape is a simple rectangle. Now is folded in half. We can easily create a longer sleeve here, working more rows of simple double crochets, and when we like the length, we just work the final 4 rows of ribbing. We just work a simple double crochet row, and after this a pattern of front post double crochet and back post double crochet. When I wear it, I used to fold it a little bit. This is the shrug for September. After this, after each month, we are going to have a new pattern, always a shrug, which is something that you love, as I understand. Let's go and step by step see how to crochet this shrug. To make this simple rectangle shrug, you are going to need a crochet hook, US N15 hook, that is 10mm hook, and my yarn is a Stylecraft chunky yarn, which is a premium, 100% premium acrylic yarn, and the shade is 1203. It's a silver, a grey, light grey color. To do this rectangle shrug, we are going to use the V-stitch, which really looks very nice. And to do this stitch, we need a multiple of 3 plus 1 stitch. For a small medium shrug, I chained 88 chains, and I intend to make a collar all around. That is, I will have a wider shrug. I will make a sample chaining 22 chains. So hold your yarn like this, twist it, lay over there, and take this first loop, which you will attach in your hook, and chain loosely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Multiples, this is 3, 21 is a multiple of 3, plus 1, 22 stitches. So, insert your hook in 4th chain from hook. Just a moment. Count this as a first loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in 4th chain insert your hook and work there a double crochet. For this pattern, we need to have at each edge 2 double crochets. So we have 2 at first stitch, and we are going to work 2 in our last stitch. In between, we are going to work V-stitches. A V-stitch is consisted of double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So let's go and start skipping 2 stitches and skip this and skip this, and in third stitch you are going to chain double crochet, chain 1, and in the same stitch double crochet. It's a really big hook, so it's a really big V-stitch, and this is our pattern repeat to last 3 stitches. Skip next stitch, skip next stitch, and in next stitch work double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain a little bit more stitches, and you will untie them at the end, so you're sure that you're not making if you miss a stitch, it will not be a problem. So 1, 2, and in third stitch work a V-stitch. First row is always a little bit difficult because we are working on foundation chain, so 1, 2, and in third stitch work a V-stitch, and 1, 2, and in third stitch double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and we should have 3 stitches left at the end. Skip 2 stitches and work 2 double crochets as in the beginning in the very last stitch. This is our pattern, and just a moment, we have 2 double crochets at the beginning and 2 at the end, and in between V stitches skipping 2 stitches. Turn your work, and you are going to from now on repeat this row. It's 1 row repeat, chain 3, and work at the very first stitch, you see, not in the loop of the second double crochet, but in the loop that stands exactly below our chain 3, and work there a double crochet. So we have 2 double crochets at the beginning of the row, and now it's very easy because we're going to work V-stitches in chain 1 spaces and make a new V-stitch. Double crochet, chain 1, and V-stitch in the space of V-stitch of previous row. When we finish our V-stitch, don't change anything, just go to next space and work double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. It's a very easy pattern, and I think so. Yarn over and go straight at next V-stitch and work there a V-stitch. So you always have the same number of V-stitches because you are working in V-stitches of previous row, and you can count them. I will show you in a moment. So before you can see your last V-stitch, work there a V-stitch, chain 1 and double crochet, and at the end of our row we can see 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet and our turning chain, and you are going to work at in third chain of chain 3, which is this loop, not this big one that belongs to the double crochet, and you are going to work there 2 double crochet in same stitch, and this is the end of every row. Again, we have 2 at the beginning and 2 at the end double crochets, and in between we can count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 V-stitches, and on every other row we are going to have the same amount of V-stitches. When we have finished with our crocheting, we have to fold it in half. So we make this movement and we fold in half the length. So whatever size you have, you will fold it, and you are going to sew in each side from bottom where the 2 pieces are folded till one point, and you are going to leave open for armhole from here to shoulder. This is the shoulder, let's say, about 18 centimeters, 18 or 19 for size small. This is 7 inches, and for size just a moment, for size medium you are going to leave 20 centimeters open. This is 7.87 inches, and for sizes large or extra large you are going to leave here 22 for large centimeters. This is 8.66, and 24 centimeters for extra large, that is 9.44 inches opening. This is half of opening from here till here. You are going to double it to estimate how it is all together. So take your needle and with the same yarn, first of all you have to measure this distance. This is my size small, so I have to keep 19 centimeters this opening. I will put, or I may start from this point, leave a tail and make the same movement. So you pull tight and secure this point, and you're going to sew till the bottom, and you may want to pin this space in order to be sure, or you can hold like this and sew with your preferred method. I like to sew this way. I take one part from here and one from here. We are sewing right side facing us, this way that I'm doing it, and I make my threads a little bit lower than the edge point. But here I have only one double crochet, so I will use this one. And I'm going to reach till the bottom, and this is my shrug seaming from the right side, and from the wrong side you can see that it leaves a trace. It's a little bit like a ridge. When you are finished with one side, you can fold the second side and just put it right opposite to the first side, check the distances, and by measuring this distance you can start from the same point and begin sewing this part of the shrug also, and you have already left open the same amount of space. And we're going to work now a border all over these two sides of our shrug, so that when we wear this, as you see, there is a nice border, and we're going to work double crochets. The first row is going to be a simple double crochet row, and after this we're going to work front post double crochets and back post double crochets. Here is our sewing point. So in this point of the seaming we are going to be attaching our yarn again, and leave a tail and take your first loop, hold this like this, and start chaining one. I used to chain one and work a double crochet instead of chaining three. That leaves a small gap, and we're going to work into that first space in between the two double crochet edges and the first V-stitch. I'm going to work my second double crochet. We are working now at the end of this last row, and to keep the same number of stitches as in the last V-stitches row, we're going to work 2 double crochets for two double crochets of the beginning, and after this you should always work 3 double crochets, one in the space, one in chain one space, and one in next space, because a V-stitch is consisted of 3 stitches. So work in the same space as before a double crochet, work into that V-stitch a second double crochet, and in next space after stitch a double crochet. And we're going to work also 3 stitches for next V-stitch, starting from the same space we just worked and working a double crochet in the same space. So you may count 3 every time, 1, 2 into the center of the V-stitch and 3 in next space. In this same next space we're going to start the new 3 counting. So 1, 2 and 3 in next space. So we're going to work 85 stitches as we did when we worked our V-stitches rows. So again, this is the space I just used. I will use it again to make my first double crochet of the new 3 counting, 1 in the center of the V-stitch and 1 in next space. I choose this way so I don't lose the number of double crochets made, and I don't want to make less stitches. That means that I'm going to stretch my border, and not too many stitches, many more than 85 that I need. That will make the border to curl. Now I'm near next seaming point, so I have worked a double crochet in the center of this stitch. I'm going to work one more in next space, and this way I have finished with the 3 stitches that my V-stitch requires, and I should work 2 more double crochets. So I'll make one here and here, right next to my seaming point. So I have finished with 85 stitches for this part of my shrug, and I'm going to work another 85 stitches and 85 double crochets the same way, but this time you know, if you can recognize, this is my starting point. If I turn it this way, this is my foundation chain, and I'm going to work now in the bottom side of my foundation row. So just work the same way as we did before. We only have the V-stitch looking to the bottom. So I will work here to the first space 1 and one more 2 double crochets, and I will work now one here at next space next to V-stitch, one at the center of V-stitch, it's the bottom point of V-stitch if you can see, and one in next space. So I've got three for my first V-stitch which stands backwards, and this is my next V-stitch, and I'm going to work there in the space, in previous space, a double crochet, in that loop, central loop, a double crochet, and here in next space I will be working 2 double crochets, one for the right V-stitch and one for next V-stitch. So do know that in every space we're going to be working 2 double crochets, and we're going to always work here at the top bottom of V-stitch a double crochet. So make it this way, don't count, 2 at the space, and just find the V-stitch and work there a double crochet. I'll meet you back when I make all the round and I come to this point where I've started my border. So I have come near the end of my first row for the border, and here is my first double crochet. You should have now around 170 double crochets. Don't worry if you are having 2 more or 2 less. I just give you the way to work and not blindly make double crochets, something that will not form a very nice edging. So this is my last space. I should work there 1 and 1 more, and then near my seaming point 1 more, and then I will slip stitch to the first double crochet to join these two double crochets, and I will turn. So now I am facing the wrong side, let's say, of my shrug is facing me. So in one row we're going to work, we began having the right side facing us, and now we are working the opposite direction. Again, we should chain 1. To make it more simple, I will chain 3, which count as your first double crochet, and this stands for this one at the bottom. And now I'm going to work alternating front post and back post double crochets. To make a front post double crochet, find the next stitch and insert your hook not in top chain of double crochet but to the post. From right to the left you insert your hook and go out, yarn over, pull up a loop. The same thing, you have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and now you have made a front post double crochet. To make exactly the opposite thing, find the next double crochet and insert your hook from the back again into that post, from the back and back again, and yarn over, pull up a loop, go out from the back side again. You have 3 loops of hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. It's a mirror, let's say, movement, because when you make a front post you insert your hook and it's like pulling the post to the front, and when you are working a back post you make the exact opposite movement. You go from the back and out the back again, and it's like pulling the post to the back. If you understand this, this is a front post and this is a back post. I'll show it again. From the right to the left, from the front side, again from the right to the left from the back side, and just push this post to come forward and work your front post, yarn over, hold it again, and maybe you can push this and insert your hook from the back, go out and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, in next stitch a front post, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Again yarn over, and holding the yarn here, go to the back, yarn over. Sometimes it slips, so you may hold as you want your yarn, and you can hold this loop steady so you can do all the movement you want. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I believe the back post is a little bit harder, so you can hold the 2 pieces like this, so you can come out and make the back post. In front post you can control it better and do the movement. For the back post, find it and hold it like this, so you are going to come out more easier. This way we go till the end of the row, and I'll meet you back to show you how we are going to work in next row. Post and a front post in next stitch, and a back post in next stitch. And join in inserting your hook in third chain of initial chain 3. Just chain 3 and work to this same direction, having the right side facing you. Wherever I see a front post, I work a front post. Now it's an easier row. And wherever I see a back post, I work a back post. Very, very easy from now on. And I'm going to work inserting my hook here to the armhole opening and work all over the same ribbing, and I will make it very, very nice. I have worked all the ribbing all around the shrug, and I have worked 3 rows of front post and back post double crochets in my basic color, this light gray, and the last row I worked it in this more dark gray. Find your armhole opening. I will insert my hook, fold it, and so a tail will be created that you are going to hold, and then chain 1, and I'm working chain 1 and a double crochet in the same first stitch instead of chaining 3, so it leaves no gap. It's around 13 and 13 or 14 and 14 double crochets. I have made 1, 2, so I've worked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, and one more, 14, and turn to the other side, and I'm going to work another 14, so in total 28 double crochets. I'm going to the first double crochet and join with a slip stitch. I'm going to change color, so I insert my hook to work a slip stitch. I cut my yarn and take this more deep gray yarn, so leave a tail, and this way I insert the new yarn. My sleeve, let's say, I didn't added any length, although I could, and I'm going to give you instructions in my written pattern on my blog. You could work some, if you want a more long sleeve, you can work some rows of plain double crochets, and at the end work these 4 rows of ribbing. To weave your ends, take a smaller hook than this that you are working with. This is a 4.5, or you can take a needle, but I prefer to take a smaller hook, and whatever is to my right side I go into and take it to the back. This also is to my right side, this is up, okay. I want to work from the inside, from the wrong side, and so I take this and I travel it through some loops. This is my seam here, and I go 3 or 4 times following one same loop, and then I turn a little bit backwards. I think it's more secured this way. I pull a little bit, cut it, and then pull my garment so the small tail disappears. The same thing here. I'm going to work through some loops, usually in one direction. And usually above 2 strands of yarn. I find it more secure this way. So I will turn a little bit. I can travel it to this side now, and through this loop I pull it and cut and over. So this is my Aspen Crochet Shrug in this fantastic Stylecraft yarn. I hope you like it. Thank you very much for all the comments and for all the love and support. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. When you subscribe, you really make me happy, and you make me happy when you leave your comments. Follow me on Instagram, like me on Facebook, and you can, I want to say you can find the written patterns usually free in on my blog, marymarystories.blogspot.com, and in many other places such as on lovecrochet.com, from where I buy these fantastic yarns. I already began to post my designs. Thank you very much from Mary from Greece, which is sunny and hot still. I wish you happy crocheting. Bye.